Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game Fantafiction versus Banbo. And why is Bamboo so small? Let me see if I can fix the font. What happened there? Okay, the font size is supposed to be... Huh. It's supposed to be... How come it's not... Oh, there it goes. Alright, let's go ahead and just dive right into this game. We have Fantafiction spawning as the blue undead on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Bamboo is spawning as the yellow human over here on the bottom right. 4 times speed, well, workers working, and I'm not sure if they are whistling, but we'll see what will be coming out in this game here in this human versus undead matchup. Heroes most likely will be Archmage versus Death Knight, but then again, I have been surprised before, and here I am surprised now. A battle of the brains in a Lich versus Archmage matchup. Lich first, and being able to access that very powerful Frost Nova, well, can really shut down a lot of early play. Follow that up with the Death Knight as that second hero being able to get that, that Death Knight up to level 3 very quickly for that big heal is also a big play indeed, as we're looking at Forest Troll Trappers actually attacking up the hill, and well, that's causing them to miss quite a bit. By doing a little bit of that play right there, you can see that the human player was able to maximize his hit points on that water elemental and now clean up the remainder of this creep camp while getting to level 2. Off to the north, Lich has sold that Scroll of Town portal, picked up a Ritual Dagger, and is now looking to set up an expansion. Altar of Darkness is still here, so we are. It is not one of those super aggressive plays where they unsummon that Altar of Darkness early on to try and get an additional Ziggurat and Nerubian Tower up quickly. Archmage going to clean up this giant sea turtle creep camp once more. Mantle of Intelligence, a great item for that Archmage. A little bit more mana, a little bit more damage. Water Elemental, that one should just be denied, as you don't want to give any free experience one last hit to your opponent. Archmage still reaching out across the map here. A little bit of additional damage, a little bit of additional armor, and well, should be able to make a bit of a play here in just a moment. Well, thing to note, like that devotion armor at getting up to level 3 should be able to drop in some water elementals here. Militia clearing out this green creep camp off to the side, and now going to be putting in a pressure on this Ziggurat. There's a big Frost Nova onto the Archmage. Archmage going to be forced to try and retreat back here, not going after that Ziggurat while it was being summoned, mean that it already has that fortified armor, greatly reducing the amount of damage that the water elemental would be able to deal. Low hit point Footman going to get finished off right there, and as another shot goes down, more while reinforcing Footman coming across as this water elemental actually running a little bit of a chase too much. Are we going to see some more damage? Perhaps go after a low hit point low hit point ghoul, as the Archmage does have a second water elemental who's trying to get into position as well. The Nerubian Tower should be coming across here. No Rod of Necromancy, a replenishment one was given to that Lich, who should be able to summon up more if needed. Triple water elementals are, well, quite the threat here, as we're looking at the water elementals turning back and going after the Nerubian Tower, but that fortified armor going to be too much for that water elemental's piercing damage. Lich does have Dark Ritual as that level 2 ability, should be able to get in another Frost Nova on that Archmage if it tries to get a little bit too aggressive. Meanwhile, off to the north here, we still do not see the summoning of that Haunted Gold Mine, and that's going to be buying a little bit of time. Archmage not going to try and retreat back. That Devotion, or well, offering a bit of protection as the Footmen are now trying to retreat back here. Water Elemental not going to be able to take down that Haunted Gold Mine, as its timed life will be coming to an end. Tech to Tier 2 has not started, as we are looking at an expansion attempt coming in from the Archmage as well. Archmage could have tried to pick up additional claws of attack. That Footman is actually feeding experience into the undead, and now that Lich may actually get early access to level 3. Are we going to see a little bit more damage go down? No, that Ghoul down to 14 hit points will end up surviving. Lich could try and go for a Dark Ritual across his own Ghoul here, and they get a Frost Nova on the Archmage and try and finish him off, and that looks like that could be the case, but that Boots of Speed able to outrun those Ghouls easily. All right, outrunning those Ghouls, gonna perhaps try and pick up the Claws of Attack +5 here. Needs to get an Arcane Vault right behind this. The Lich, on the other hand, could venture forth, do another dark ritual, and try and, give the kiss of death with that Frost Nova on that Archmage who is still slowly trying to heal. Arcane Tower not up. There is that dark ritual. Lich still needs a little bit more mana. Could have tried to sacrifice a full hit point ghoul to try and keep the Archmage at bay, but the Archmage now going to be, trying to heal up here. Is he going to try and pick up? There's that clarity potion. A scroll of regeneration could be used. There's all of those low hit point footmen. Beautifully done by Banbo to keep those, footmen in the game a little while longer. Meanwhile, though, a swarm of ghouls already in position here. And, going to get an easy surround on that footman and now getting closer to that dangerous level 3. Tech to tier 2 has begun for the undead player, not yet started by human. Meanwhile, Arcane Tower trying to clean things up. Archmage going to be coming back across here. There was level 3 on that Lich, and now the footmen who are waiting to get healed up are going to try and have to defend this location as the ghouls are, trying to clean up all of these water elementals here. If Frost Nova did go down, a lot of low hit point ghouls could get taken down. There's a big deny there as more damage is still racking up. There goes another ghoul once more as the Lich is going to be dealing with a level 4 Archmage soon enough. Another Scroll of Regeneration quickly being used. Should perhaps head over here to try and use it and heal up some of those poor peasants as well. Archmage could easily get up to level 4 before venturing forth. However, he does need to start teching the tier 2 as we now see getting a little bit of a late start. That means that the undead should be able to get that, get that Death Knight out that much more quickly. Meanwhile, low hit point Ghoul trying to retreat all the way back. Archmage with those boots of speed just landing damage onto multiple units. But that's not how, you really need to be doing this. Trying to take down one or two of those ghouls would give level 4 to the Archmage, and level 4 on, the two of those ghouls would give level 4 to the Archmage, and then continue to rain down a machine gun out all of these water elementals. All right, damage pressuring already going on. As we can see, one ghoul going to get taken down. There goes one that needs one more shot there. Is it going to be able to finish off that last hit point ghoul? Yes, it is, as the Archmage now gets up to level 4, getting a little bit more Brilliance Aura, and should be able to summon up even more as well. Low hit point ghoul, 61 hit points, going to try and retreat all the way to the back. Low hit point footman, hanging around as the footman could end up getting taken down right there. One low hit point footman trying to retreat all the way here as the Archmage does have a water elemental to perhaps act as a little bit of a distraction and now make its way back off to the north. Archmage retreating back. This has been a very, very large investment in tier 1 melee units by both sides. We are looking at Bamboos still with over half a dozen footmen, maybe closer to 10 at this stage in the game. And even though a lot of footmen have been taken out, on the other side, Banbo has been doing the same thing, investing very heavily into ghouls, and I'm still waiting for when we will be looking at a transition into new types of units. All right, Wand of Illusion, Scroll of Healing, multiple Archmages running around. Very easy to figure out which one, which one is the real one, because all you need to do is find the Archmage that is not one of the the Archmage that's holding the Scroll of Healing, as item position is so important. Archmage drops in a water elemental in that frontline spot, canceling that graveyard off to the front again. Though the illusions are just acting as a bit of a wall right there, as low hit point footmen are still trying to retreat back. 43 supply compared to 41. Archmage doesn't have enough for another water elemental, as the Death Knight is now out here onto the battlefield and should be making some strong plays as well. Level 4 on that Lich. There goes another ghoul. If a footman gets taken down, the Lich will still just be shy of level 4. Level 2 Dark Ritual, however, could greatly change things, as we're looking at the ghouls are just all trying to retreat back here, trying to dodge damage from those water elementals. Slaughterhouse about to be completed. Footman may try and go after that target, but you see a big Frost Nova going down. Scroll of Healing, however, counteracting and, saving multiple footmen, even though one was unable to dodge that bit of damage. Obsidian statues now getting trained up as well. We are transitioning into Crypt Fiends. The graveyard was off to the north here. And 2 base play versus 2 base play, as we are now transitioning into the workshops, getting up a second barracks, a castle, and getting up a mountain king. A lot of infrastructure changes seemingly happening all at once, getting away from multiple footmen, getting up a barracks, getting up a workshop, as we're going to be looking at knights and flying machines to try and deal with the AoE damage or the Frost Nova death coil of that Death Knight and that Lich. We should also be looking at multiple staffs of Sanctuary to try and make sure that knights do not end up feeding experience to the opponent, as we know that there will be that initial Frost Nova death coil to try and, well, weaken that front line position. There goes a Stormbolt onto a ghoul there. That is going to be, well, a couple of seconds of stun followed by a Dark Ritual. Lich not wanting to give the experience to the Mountain King, not wanting to deal with level 3 Stormbolt, decides to, well, just gain a little bit of mana instead. Archmage waiting for that water elemental to get into that frontline spot. There you are. Well, you're going to go ahead and surround that giant sea turtle in no time flat. Death Knight, however, passing in along the backside here, perhaps suspecting that his opponent is down on this side, hoping to creep jack him, and not going to actually find him here. All right, Flying Machine keeping track of his opponent, and this may be a little bit of a gift, as Fantafiction could get creep jack from the side as the Archmage shows up to the party and also cutting off the route of escape. All right, Banbo, however, well, not getting creep jacked here as I originally suspected, and no units even getting caught in transit. A big missed opportunity to deal a little bit of damage, but then again, there was this uphill aspect that he would have been forced to deal with. All right, flying all the way over, flying back home, using that Scroll of Town Portal, able to retreat back as the Mountain King quickly tries to retreat back as well. Archmage down to 222 hit points before the Scroll of Town Portal whisks it away. Paladin, that third and final hero, getting added in. We are looking at Banbo not getting in additional Staff of Sanctuaries for some strange reason. I'm not seeing any any at all, even though we are at tier 3. 1-1 upgrades for the human army, looking at 68 compared to 65 supply. Footman looking to clean things up here, taking down the giant sea turtles. Dark Ranger is that third and final hero, as the Flying Machine actually sees this intercepting undead army. All right, a couple of low hit point footmen could have a bad day. There's a Frost Nova slowing things down. One footman going to get taken down, as this Gargantuan Sea Turtle could give a very powerful consumable item to that Death Knight, as we now see the Knights trying to push back the other way. Knights do not have Animal War Training. One Mana Stealing, not the item he was looking for, but still useful overall, as we're getting into some engagement here. Holy Light trying to save that Mountain King, who's already down to 366 hit points. He needs to fight back even further. All right, those two Cycloned Knights getting knocked out of commission for this long, causing quite a bit of problems, as a Stormbolt now goes down onto the Crypt Fiends. More Knights trying to replace there. Remember, that is an entire both of those Wand of the Winds, as the Mountain King gets in a big, slow clap across all these units. Abomination is going to continue to join in on the battle here, as we are looking at the Flying Machines with really no targets to go after at all. Fighting still underway. Mountain King could be in a little bit of trouble. Holy Light onto a Knight. Knight is going to end up getting taken down. That's going to continue to feed more experience, and without a Staff of Sanctuary to save those Knights, well, they are a bit of a risk. There goes a Frost Nova down onto those trailing 3 back units. It looks like, however, they will be able to fall all the way back to their expansion, perhaps pick up a Staff of Sanctuary from this Arcane Vault. 67 supply compared to 77. Fantafiction looking, well, very strong at this point and stage in the game. Could easily set up another expansion, as we're looking at the Dark Ranger and Death Knight. Death Knight about to get to level 3. Workshop getting pressured a bit here, and now that there is dual workshops, no real reason to even try and go for those destroyers, as the Knights getting, well, funneled out one at a time. Well, Staff of Sanctuary teleports him all the way back right there. That is just going to simply get fed. What little bit of damage going down onto that Knight. No, Knight actually not taking any damage whatsoever, even though he is being served up on a platter. All right, transition into Griffins, however, completely catching me off well, catching me by surprise, as the Death Knight does get to level 3 because of a flying machine or a peasant. More damage could get racked up here. Crypt Fiends could easily web down those units. We need to be looking at more, and well, we need to be looking at that animal war training. Animal war training now done, as the units are going to be getting underway. Knight's going to try and fight after all of these units. Stormbolt on to another abomination, only to see a dark ritual, well, act as a way to prevent that experience from being given. All right, continuing to fight their way back around. Water Elemental is going to be going after that Abomination again. Abomination now looking to retreat back, as the Knights are not, well, not in good positions. It looks like a bit of unit control issues. And what's happening here is Banbo is in a tough spot, as this is a very narrow walkway, and trying to get all the melee units in the correct spot is just not quite working out, especially with a crab also blocking this positioning here. We could be looking at perhaps that crab, well, environmental safety hazards, crabs, that one giant crab there causing problems, as the griffins, flying machines, and knights are trying to land and pick off some sort of trailing unit. All right, there's a Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend, webbing down a couple of units, and now trying to go after those Crypt Fiends there. All right, trying to find another Crypt Fiend, multiple Crypt Fiends. There's a Thunderclap going after some units. There's a Dark Ritual as well, 80 supply compared to 77, and it looks like Banbo is actually in a good spot to try and pick off some of these fleeing units again here. Knights, meanwhile, looking to get some damage onto all of those Crypt Fiends, and then Thunderclap, even at level 1 variety, doing quite a bit of damage here. More a Scroll of Healing trying to be used. Mountain King getting a Holy Light, but it does not look like it will be saved, except with the Staff of Sanctuary. One Staff of Sanctuary on that Archmage, and with a big advantage here. Meanwhile, it looks as though the creeps are actually joining in on the battle, getting in a bit of damage as well. All right, one big Frost Nova, Ring of Regeneration on that Knight, and well, the Knight only needed one more hit to give level 2 to that Paladin, but instead, units were able to back away. A little bit of bonus experience, and I've said this before, I always like Ring of Regenerations on Death Knights, well, mainly on the Paladin, since the Paladin has no other way to heal himself except for natural regeneration. Obsidian statues taking care of that Death Knight or the undead army pretty much all around. Mountain King, well, sitting up in a position right there. It looks like he's going to end up getting taken down pretty easily, taking a little bit of damage once more. Knights now trying to take down some of those Crypt Fiends, but the Knights unable to close in on that target because of, well, Frost Nova. Frost Nova really minimizing the advantage of those Knights to get to their target quickly and easily, as we see another Dark Ritual being used by that Lich. Lich continually turning around, machine gunning out so many Frost Novas, as a massive Frost Nova completely destroying or limiting the amount of use on those Knights there, as they are trying to retreat back. Scroll of Regeneration, Paladin now getting up to level 2, and isn't going to be going for Divine Shield. There goes a flying machine, now going to get taken down. A couple of Crypt Fiends could try and retreat back, but once again, without that Mountain King Stormbolt, that is not going to be that effective. Multiple low hit point Knights could all of a sudden be slowed down significantly, as that Lich's damage right there, that was a large amount of damage across all of those units. Yeah, just a crazy amount of damage there. All right, Staff of Sanctuary being used. You can see multiple Knights right here, but they are stationary, and well, they are going to get served up. There's that Devour Magic Knight trying to retreat back, as well as we see an Arcane Tower, well, getting a little bit of damage on that Destroyer there. No flying machines to really challenge that one Destroyer, as the Knights are now trying to retreat back off to the north. Meanwhile, Mountain King wants to get up to level 3. Paladin wants to get up to level 3, as they're losing in that hero race. The undead army is just staking claim here, as remember, the undead does have this extra base and the stronger economic advantage. I think with all this said and done, this is just continuing to snowball for the undead, short of some tragic misplay by Fantafiction, as a Scroll of Town Portal now landing across on the inside. Silence across here, as the silence is going to limit the effectiveness of that Mountain King and that Archmage. The Paladin is also silenced as well, as we could see another silence here. Stormbolt. Mountain King does have a level 2 Stormbolt over level 2 Clap, and now trying to finish off all of these units. Thank you for the follow, as the Death Knight now trying to retreat back. All right. Well, wish I had a moderator right now to go ahead and handle the person who followed me, only to put up an ad. Anyways, coming back around here, Knight's going to go ahead and get taken down. Paladin continuing to fire its way through. Lich is going to end up trying to Scroll of Town Portal away. Low hit point Crypt Fiend ends up getting away, but an Obsidian statue isn't going to be able to retreat back. Flying Machine's not going to be able to catch up to it, but that fight actually went fairly well for human. 69 supply compared to 76. A lot of peasants were lost in that fight, but well, how is all of this going to unravel and unfold? Level 3 weapon upgrades and level 1 armor upgrades compared to only 1-0 upgrades on these undead units. That means Crypt Fiends will be taking quite a bit of damage, 33 to 53 damage, adding in that Sundering Blades. Those knights should be able to close in on that target pretty quickly. All right, Mountain King could already be in quite a bit of trouble. Staff of Sanctuary could try and save it. Shopping at this Goblin Merchant shop, a big deal right there as the Mountain King trying to test the waters. Crypt Fiends now going after those Flying Machines, trying to take them down one at a time. Flying Machines going after the Destroyer, and here we are going into the engagement. Stormbolt onto a Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend quickly getting Dark Ritual, but the Knights are still going after multiple targets as the Griffins have found their footing as well. One Knight going to try and take down some of these Acolytes down to the south side here. More damage leading the charge as we see a Stormbolt now finding another Crypt Fiend. That Crypt Fiend going to get taken down easily. Meanwhile, down to the south here, the Knight is easily cleaning up some of those Acolytes and trying to take away the economic advantage. I am here. Thank you, Metaphysics. All right, coming back around. Paladin going to clean things up. Paladin going to heal things up once more. Knights could end up trying to get in some big damage across those Banshees. One Banshee gets a big heal as we are looking at, well, Web bringing down those Flying Machines. Plenty of Destroyers, so we could actually be looking at, Obsidian Statues, so we could be looking at a transition into Destroyers as the Banshees have not been able to really try and possess any of these Knights just quite yet. Retreating still back pretty thoroughly as the Knights look to fall back and give in a little bit of space, but feeding experience with that water elemental. All right, coming back down to the south here, 73 supply compared to 79. Ghouls were able to get in a bit of defense as the armies are going to be engaging across each other here. Knights going to try to find their positioning. Destroyer or Flying Machines trying to flank onto those Destroyers that are simply not engaging. And here we are going into a fight. Flying Machine now finding a Destroyer there as it's retreating all the way to the back. Or a little bit of splash damage. Staff of Sanctuary saving a low hit point Knight as Knights are going to be reaching into a little bit of trouble. Archmage does get up to level 6, does have mass teleport, but is it going to be impactful enough at this point in the stage in the game? All right, Banshees coming in from behind. 79 supply compared to 68. Paladin with that Divine Shield able to continue to fight as another Knight about to fall. No Staff of Sanctuary there at all. All right, Acolytes being brought on over. Another Crypt Fiend going to get taken down as the Flying Machines, the Griffins are actually causing quite a bit of damage. 73 supply compared to 73 as Flying Machines all webbed down, going to give even more experience, and now level 6 to that Lich. Staff of Sanctuary for one Knight, a new Knight or a Knight fully refreshed, ready to go. Mass teleport, allowing that Archmage to perhaps heal back up at this Arcane Vault as there's only 2 minutes of mining left at this 3 o'clock spot. Militia now making their way over here to the bottom left, perhaps trying to scout out a difficult expansion location, and that is going to be the key fighting point now. With this gold mine about to run out and this one the only operational for the undead is going to be able to hold on to that economic advantage just simply by camping in this fairly neutral spot. All right, Griffin Riders, 3-0 upgrades. Knights, 3-1 upgrades. Going to try and dive on in here. There goes a Frost Nova, slowing down many of those Griffin Riders as we are looking at Crypt Fiends getting taken down as well. Stormbolt, are we going to look at a Thunderclap there? That is multiple Banshees. And, well, Undead is often jealous of the Knights and those Griffins. If they can get their hands on them, those Banshees can possess the targets and turn the tide rather quickly. Are we going to be looking at possession? That is the key, as the Knights are actually running and going down pretty deep. Thunderclap not actually dealing any damage, as there is just plenty of anti-magic shell. Knights going after some more units. Death Knight could be in trouble. Death Knight completely surrounded right here. Is he going to be able to break free, as those Griffins are unable to do anything because of that anti-magic shell? More water elementals could get taken down. All right, Banshees Is it going to be able to retreat all the way back, trying to lead the charge against that Banshee? But the Banshee somehow having enough movement speed to outrun these Knights, even though I didn't think that would really be the case. Down to the south here, well, difficult for those Knights to try and finish off any of those Griffins also having to do a little bit of an uphill climb, as we are looking at, well, the Archmage has the Devotion Aura item still on him, even though the Paladin has gotten level 1 Devotion Aura. So that's a bit of extra gold that could be used to perhaps pick up a Scroll of Healing if was necessary. All right, anti-magic shell across the board. Banshees in that backline position. Hey, making it difficult for the Knights to even get in any damage. Where are all of those Knights? It doesn't look like that front line's actually that large, as more Knights are bringing up the rear as well. Staff of Sanctuary continuing to try and save 2 low hit point Knights in that front line spot. Are they going to end up getting taken down? There goes as a little bit more damage as the Knights are still trying to fight their way through. Banshees in the back position here, causing a lot of missing targets, as Crypt Fiends could end up getting taken down as well. There goes a little bit more damage as the Knights are still in position here. Staff of Sanctuary continuing trying to save those lower hit point units. Flying Machines trying to find some targets to hit down, as we're looking at the Griffin Riders while showing up to the party as well. Water Elementals are actually having a pretty good field day. Paladin falls, however, at level 4, and that may be the beginning of the end, as we're now looking at Siege Engines making their way through as well. That is going to be the game. Fantafiction takes the victory right here with a very narrow choke point and protecting all of these Banshees in that back line. And, well, with the Knights being cursed alongside the Griffins being cursed and having to hit past anti-magic shell, well, the army just couldn't do any real damage. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.